Hi, I'm Shelly Wegman, dietitian with UNC Rex. I wanted to talk to you today about herbs and spices. Do you need to jazz up your meals? Are you trying to cut back on sodium? This is the way to do it. Herbs and spices come in a lot of different forms. You have fresh, we have dried, you can get them frozen, actually ready to just pop out of their little container and add to whatever meal you're cooking. And you can get little squeeze tubes of things like ginger if you don't want to keep it on hand, the fresh on hand. They're great websites, and most cookbooks have information on how to use herbs and spices with different foods as well, so check it out. I do want to talk to you a little bit about the difference between ground and whole herbs and spices. So your basic ground herbs and spices, things like cinnamon and turmeric, ginger, are good for about a year in a cool, dark cupboard. The whole spices are good for about 3 years. Do the sniff test. If you open up the container and don't really smell anything, it's time to replace it. You can get a really good deal on herbs and spices at a lot of your Asian markets and in the ethnic aisles in your local grocery store as well, so check it out. Some tips for using herbs and spices: think things like butternut squash, add some cinnamon to it. It's a really nice way to enhance the flavor. You can use some of that fresh mint you grow in your garden in your seltzer water or add to teas. You can do fresh rosemary with some roasted potatoes or with some poultry. There's just so many things you can do with it. Check it out and see what you can find that you enjoy. I want to point out the difference between fresh and dried herbs as well. Rule of thumb, it's a tablespoon of fresh herbs to a teaspoon of dried. So if the recipe says a teaspoon of dried oregano and all you have is fresh, you want to use a tablespoon. If the recipe says a tablespoon of fresh and you don't have any, use a teaspoon of dried. Check out our website for recipes, rexhealth.com/recipes, and give us a call if you want to do any meal planning with a dietitian.